The Suunto Race and the COROS APEX 2 Pro are two very similar watches, both in features and in price. So today we're going to compare the two watches and see which one might come out on top, and just maybe find out which watch is right for you. Let's dive in. Well, hey everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Steven. I do want to let you know that both Suunto and COROS sent both of these watches to me to review. I've already done those full reviews, but like always, I'm going to give you my completely honest opinion. Well, first we have to talk about the displays of the Suunto Race and the APEX 2 Pro, because that is probably the biggest difference between the two watches. The display of the Suunto Race is a high definition AMOLED display that is 1.43 inches in size with 466 by 466 resolution, whereas the COROS APEX 2 Pro has a 1.3 inch memory LCD display with 260 by 260 resolution. Both watches are touchscreen, but when looking at them, it is very easy to see that that AMOLED display from the Suunto Race is much more vivid, bright, and crisp, and honestly, it's easier to see in bright sunlight. However, both of the watches do have the sapphire glass, which is incredibly durable, scratch resistant, really probably one of the best types of glass out there for watches. Another nice feature that I highlighted in the full review of the Suunto Race was the flashlight, which is actually really bright, plenty bright to kind of get around at night if you need to. It's really just a nice thing to have that the COROS does not, so keep that in mind. As for the size and specifications of the two watches, the Suunto Race is 49 by 49 by 13.3 millimeters thick, and that APEX 2 Pro is 46.1 by 46.5 by 15.8 millimeters thick. Now that thickness reading of the APEX 2 Pro does include the heart rate monitor, which protrudes out the back just a little bit. I do think that the rating of 13.3 with the Suunto does not include that heart rate sensor, because when comparing the two side by side, they seem to be about the same thickness. As for the weight of the watches, the COROS APEX 2 Pro with this nylon band weighed in at 53 grams, but the Suunto Race with the silicone band, because that's what it comes with, weighs in at 69 grams, and that is the titanium version. If you have the steel version, it weighs in roughly around 83 grams. Now, the Suunto Race is definitely a fair amount heavier when compared to the APEX 2 Pro. However, both of those do have a 22 millimeter quick release band, so you can easily find aftermarket bands if you want. Probably get a nylon type band for the Suunto as well and lighten it up just a little bit. Both watches are pretty decent size. They're bigger watches, that's for sure. However, they both do not feel very overly large on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. The Suunto does feel a little bit bigger. As for the durability, both the Race and the APEX 2 Pro have a grade 5 titanium bezel, incredibly durable, but the COROS does also have a PVD coating over that as well for a little bit of extra added durability. Like I mentioned already, both have that sapphire crystal glass, and the Suunto Race is rated all the way down to -5 degrees Fahrenheit and up to 130 degrees Fahrenheit, whereas the APEX 2 Pro is rated down to -4 and up to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. So a little bit of difference there, nothing really substantial though. Another fairly good size difference is with their water resistance rating. So both watches are water resistant. The Suunto Race, however, can go down to 100 meters, whereas the APEX 2 Pro can only go down to about 50 meters. So if you are going to be maybe doing some diving, you might want to consider the Suunto Race. Both the watches have a dual frequency GNSS chipset for enhanced GPS tracking. Both have offline downloadable maps. Both the titanium version of the Suunto Race and then the COROS APEX 2 Pro have 32 gigabytes of storage for those maps. If you get the steel version of the Suunto Race, it has 16 gigabytes of storage. With both the Suunto and the COROS, you can easily create custom GPX routes both in their own apps. Very simply, you can set alerts, get precise coordinates, have turn-by-turn navigation. However, one thing to keep in mind with the Suunto Race is in order to have that turn-by-turn navigation, you have to create the route inside the Suunto app. There's a little button at the bottom when you're creating it that says turn on turn-by-turn navigation. That's not the case with the COROS APEX 2 Pro. If you have a GPX route from some other third-party app, the turn-by-turn navigation will still work, which is just a really nice feature to have. However, I do need to say that the turn-by-turn navigation of the Race is, I think in my opinion, a little bit better than the APEX 2 Pro. Both of them have it, both of them are nice. It gives you alerts. When you're coming up to an intersection, the Suunto Race will give you about a 300-foot warning and then count down. It's a nice bright display that you can see. You can easily see it on the map as well. The COROS will just kind of pop up in the top center of the display just a little bit, which is still very nice to have. So both do have those features. It's just a little bit easier to see on the Suunto Race. Now, one other thing I touched on in the full review of the Suunto Race that is really nice that the COROS APEX 2 Pro does not have is basically a dead reckoning or a bearing lock type navigation. So if you go into the maps, you can actually select a bearing if you know it, whether it's 280 degrees and whatever that might be. You can lock it onto the map. That way when you're navigating on the map screen, you can see your red north arrow and your blue bearing. So if you're doing some dead reckoning navigation, very simple to do. Again, that's not a feature available right now on the COROS APEX 2 Pro. Just take a look at this example. You can easily see the higher contrast, more visible Suunto maps, just so much more clear than the COROS APEX 2 Pro. Both of these were lit up. I'd raised my wrist. They were both had the illumination on. It's just so much clearer to see that Suunto. As for the GPS accuracy, both did a pretty good job. However, on a 10-mile trail run with both watches in their highest settings, so the dual frequency, it seems like the Suunto Race took a few minutes to really kind of lock on and clean up that GPS track. On the way out, like at the start of the run, you can see some odd deviations, but then it looks like it locks on and seems to mirror the COROS APEX 2 Pro. In my full review of the Suunto Race, I really didn't see this in other tests, so maybe it was just a one-off kind of thing. However, it was interesting. When it comes to the heart rate sensor, however, the APEX 2 Pro does have some newer technology. There's 5 LEDs and 4 photo detectors, whereas the Suunto Race only has 2 LEDs and 2 photo detectors. In my full review of the Suunto Race, I did document some kind of inconsistent readings with the Suunto Race. However, I also had some inconsistencies with the APEX 2 Pro over the last year and a half of testing it. However, when comparing the Suunto Race directly to the COROS APEX 2 Pro, I do feel the readings from the APEX 2 Pro were more accurate. All in all though, if you really want the most accurate, you should be using a armband or a chest strap. Now, battery life is arguably what COROS is known for. I mean, honestly, that's kind of what put them on the GPS market map. In both the watch's highest setting, so the performance mode for Suunto Race, which is the dual frequency, the claimed battery life is up to 40 hours. However, mine straight off the charger in my testing showed up to 45 hours in that performance mode, which is just insane. The COROS, however, in dual frequency mode only gets up to a claimed 24 hours of max battery life. This was just incredibly surprising to me when I think about all that COROS has been known for, the battery life, and then you look at the Suunto with this beautiful AMOLED display and still gets 40 hours or up to 45 hours of GPS in performance mode. That's insane. If we step the race down in accuracy to the endurance mode, you can get up to 50 hours of battery life. The APEX 2 Pro in all systems on mode will get up to 41 hours in battery life. And in ultra mode for the Suunto Race, you can get up to 70 hours. And then if we take that COROS down to the standard GPS mode, you can get up to 66 hours. Now the Suunto does go one step further. They actually have a tour mode, which turns off heart rate tracking completely, and it gives you the least accurate GPS track that they have. You can still get up to 120 hours of battery life, which is pretty stinking awesome. Now in daily use, the Suunto Race will get up to 12 days of battery life. Now that is with the 24/7 daily heart rate tracking turned on and no training. Now, if you turn that daily heart rate off and no training, it'll get up to 26 days. Now, this is where the COROS is definitely much better in battery life, as it would get up to 24 days with daily tracking and sleep tracking turned on, and then up to 21 days if you have the daily stress feature turned on, because that does use a little bit more battery. Now, I know I said this earlier, but I was really genuinely surprised by this. I was expecting COROS to blow the Suunto Race out of the water, especially with that AMOLED display, but clearly the Suunto has better battery life. Both watches do connect via Bluetooth to accessories like, a foot pod, heart rate sensors, things like that. Both the watches can control music as well, and both give you tons of metric and data to analyze your recovery, your stress load, and training progress. As for the price, the COROS APEX 2 Pro retails for $449 US. The Suunto Race Titanium version, which I have here, is $549. But if you want to get that steel version, which again is just a little bit heavier, has a little bit less storage for those maps, it's $449 as well. So when considering all the features available on the COROS APEX 2 Pro and the Suunto Race, the steel version, because it's the same price, I really do feel that the Suunto Race is the better watch overall. Now, if you do want a lighter watch, because 89 grams for that steel version is a heavier watch, then you can step up to that titanium version, and it's still gonna be an absolutely incredible watch. So now it's up to you. Which watch do you think is better overall, the COROS APEX 2 Pro or the Suunto Race? As for me personally, next time I go out for a run or an ultra marathon, definitely an ultra marathon, I'm 99% sure I'm gonna be grabbing the Suunto Race Titanium. Well, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Now, if you have not already seen the full review of the Suunto Race, take a look at that on your screen right over there Go click on that. I'll see you over there. Thanks.